12th Bio-Zoology Chapter 6 Evolution. Under the part Theories of Evolution, we are going to learn about mutation theory and modern synthetic theory. De Vries carried out his experiments in the evening prime rose plant Enothera lamarckiana and observed variation in them due to mutation. While conducting experiment on Enothera lamarckiana, De Vries found 3 mutations: mutation in the shape of the leaves, color of flowers, pigmentation in buds, and he observed sudden and large variation. He believed that this type of sudden and large variations only can promote evolution. Evolution can happen because of mutation, that is sudden and large variations. But this is the opposite idea of Lamarck and Darwin. Lamarck and Darwin believed that small variations accumulate for many generations and promote evolution. Gradual accumulation of all variations cause origin of new species. This is the idea of Lamarck and Darwin. But De Vries' theory of mutation is opposite to Darwin's and Lamarck's theory. Hugo De Vries believed that speciation are due to mutation and called saltation, single step large mutation. Speciation can happen. Formation of new species is due to saltation, that is single step large mutation, a single jump from one point to another point, sudden appearance of new characters called as saltation. Now let us see the salient features of the mutation theory proposed by De Vries. Mutation or discontinuous variations are transmitted to other generations. Mutations or discontinuous variations. Mutations cause discontinuous variations. What are discontinuous variations? In discontinuous variations, there are clear cut categories. There are distinct categories. That means there are no intermediates in between one category and another category. But in the case of Darwin's and Lamarck's ideas, the variations are continuous. Small variations accumulate and form new species. In this shows the height of man. Here all the grades are available. Shortest and longest are extremities. Extremities are few, and average height more number of population. These characters like weight, height in man, color in man show continuous variations. There are a lot of intermediates. But mutation theory focuses on discontinuous variations. In discontinuous continuous variations, there are distinct categories. There are no intermediates in between the separate categories, and there are no intermediate forms. So these characters are discontinuous. They are subject to natural selection. This kind of variations are selected by nature, and this type of variations due to mutation will occur time to time in all the populations. In all the breeding populations, mutation occurs time to time. It is a natural event. So these are the various aspects of mutation theory. It is opposite to Darwin's theory and Lamarck's theory. They believed on continuous variations which cause evolution after a particular period of time. Now let us see modern synthetic theory. After the life of Darwin, many scientific developments took place. Based on the scientific developments after Darwin's life, evolutionists joined together and proposed ideas regarding the origin of species or evolution. Their ideas are called as modern synthetic theory. Development of modern synthetic theory was due to the contribution of Sewall Wright Fisher, Mayer, Huxley, Dobzhansky, Simpson and Haeckel. They listed out some factors which are responsible for evolution. Now let us see the factors. Gene mutation, chromosomal mutations, genetic recombinations, natural selection and reproductive isolation. These factors contribute to the evolution according to modern synthetic theory. What are gene mutations? Change in the structure of gene, change in the nucleotide sequence of gene, change in adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine order of a gene is mutation. Normal gene produces a normal protein for many generations in all the individuals. When there is change in the nucleotide, that produces abnormal protein. Here abnormal in the sense it is new, it is entirely different from the usual protein. This abnormal protein may be useful or useless. If the abnormal protein is useful, the organisms will be selected by nature. The number of the organisms bearing the useful protein will increase. This kind of gene mutations create variations and change the phenotype of offsprings in the next generations. Mutation alters the phenotype of an organism and produces variation in their offspring. Chromosomal mutation, change in the structure of chromosome. Deletion, a part of the chromosomal segment is lost. Duplication, a part of the chromosomal segment from homologous chromosome is added to another homologous, so the sequences are repeated. Here is A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E is repeated. This kind of repeated sequences are called as duplications. Inversion, in the order of gene in a chromosome is reversed, that is inversion. Translocation, chromosomal segments are exchanged between non-homologous chromosomes. Deletion, duplication, inversion, translocation all change the phenotype and produce variations. Gene recombination takes place at the time of meiotic cell division. In meiotic cell division, during the time of packaging stage, chromosomal parts are exchanged between homologous chromosomes. That is crossing over. Crossing over results in recombination. In packaging stage, in between the homologous chromosomes, at the place of chiasmata, chromosomal parts are exchanged. That results in recombination. This type of recombinations also create variations by changing the phenotype of the new individuals. Gene mutation, chromosomal mutation, genetic recombination all produce variations. Variations are selected or rejected by natural selection. Natural selection cannot produce any variation, but it selects or rejects the variations. Natural selection does not produce any genetic variations, but once such variations occur, it favors some genetic changes while rejecting others. Favorable characters are selected by nature that results in evolution. Reproductive isolation helps in preventing interbreeding between related organisms. Related organisms are reproductively isolated by some mechanism, some barriers that also support evolution. Here there are two groups of related population. They cannot breed themselves because of barrier. A river or mountain or any barrier separate two related populations, so they grow as separate species in a particular period of time. So in this way, the reproductive isolation, natural selection, recombination, chromosomal mutation, gene mutation are responsible for promoting evolution according to modern synthetic theory.